The sun was warm that afternoon, the kind that made everything look golden and soft. The winery shimmered under its light, rows of green vines stretching out like ribbons across the hills. I sat in my car for a moment before stepping out, staring at the familiar sign, Sunset Ridge Winery. Holly's Winery. Technically our family's winery, though it hadn't felt like mine for years. It had always been Holly's place, Holly's success, Holly's dream. And today, it was hosting her daughter's bridal shower. The invitation had come in a cream envelope with gold trim. Elegant, formal, deliberate. Bridal shower for Melissa Hartley, daughter of Holly Hartley. Sunday, 2 p.m. I had stared at it for a long time when it arrived. After everything, after years of being the sister who left, I was still invited. Maybe out of duty, maybe out of pity. Still I went. I bought an expensive gift, a full set of artisan cookware, wrapped it perfectly, and wore my best cream silk dress. $400 of fragile elegance that I hoped would make me look like I belonged. Even if I didn't. The drive took 3 hours through winding country roads, long enough for my nerves to settle into quiet acceptance. When I finally arrived, the winery looked like something out of a magazine. String lights draped across the patio, tables covered in crisp white cloths, soft music blending with the sound of laughter. About 30 women filled the place, sipping wine and chatting, their voices light and easy. The vineyard smelled of roses, oak, and memories I'd tried to leave behind. And there, at the center of it all, was Mom, 75 years old, graceful, still dressed as if every moment was a portrait. She sat at the main table surrounded by Holly's friends, glowing with the same pride she'd always reserved for her favorite daughter. When she saw me, her smile barely flickered. "Amanda," she said, like my name was a formality. No hug, no warmth, just acknowledgement. "Hi, Mom," I replied, forcing a smile. "You made it. Holly wasn't sure you'd come. I wouldn't miss Melissa's shower." "Of course. Well, sit anywhere, meaning not near her, not near Holly." I found a seat near some of Melissa's college friends, girls with glossy hair and bright voices who looked at me like I was part of the catering staff. Holly floated from table to table, playing perfect hostess. Her smile looked effortless, her laughter easy. She barely nodded in my direction, too busy managing perfection. The winery was her stage, and she was its star. As the games started and the gifts piled up, I sat quietly, smiling when expected, clapping at the right moments. I sipped water instead of wine. I still had to drive home. The conversations around me buzzed with wedding talk. Flower colors, venues, dresses, all orbiting around Holly and her daughter's flawless lives. When it was my turn to give my gift, Melissa smiled politely. "Thank you, Aunt Amanda. This is lovely." She was sweet enough, though her eyes drifted quickly back to her friends. The moment passed, unnoticed. After the gifts were done, the catering staff cleared the tables. The air was thick with laughter, perfume, and wine. I was standing near the gift table, ready to slip away quietly, when Holly appeared beside me, wineglass in hand. "Amanda," she said, her smile tight, her tone rehearsed. "Good to see you." "Holly," I answered. "It's a beautiful event." "We try," she said lightly. "The winery's been doing well. Booked solid for weddings all summer." "That's wonderful." "Yes," she said, swirling her wine. "It's been challenging managing everything, though. Mom's not involved anymore. Arthritis, so it's all on me and Grant. I'm sure you're doing great." She took a sip, then tilted her head. Mom was asking about you." "Was she?" "Wondering when you'll settle down. Get married. Give her grandchildren. Oh, wait." Her smile sharpened. "She already has mine. Holly, I'm just saying," she cut in, her voice louder now. "You left for your big city job while we stayed here and kept the family business alive. I didn't leave you. I just chose a different life." "Different," she echoed, her eyes cold. "While I'm here 7 days a week managing the business that feeds this family." A few women nearby had stopped talking. I could feel their eyes on us. "Holly," I said softly. "Maybe this isn't the place." "Why not?" she said, voice rising. "Let's tell the truth for once. You abandoned the family, Amanda. You were too good for us, too good for the winery, too good for Mom. That's not true. Mom was watching from her table, silent. Always silent when Holly spoke. Holly stepped closer. Her wine glass tilted slightly in her hand. For a heartbeat, I thought she'd steady it. But she didn't. The dark red liquid poured forward, splashing across my cream silk dress. It hit my chest, soaking through the fabric. Gasps followed, sharp and quick. I froze, staring down at the spreading stain. Holly blinked once, then smiled. Oops, my bad. And then she giggled. Actually giggled. A few women laughed too, hesitantly at first, then louder when they saw Holly wasn't apologizing. My mother didn't move. Didn't speak. Holly, one friend murmured. Maybe it was an accident, Holly said brightly. I'm so clumsy, Amanda. I'm so sorry. But her eyes were alight with satisfaction. This is silk, I said quietly. It's ruined. Well, she shrugged. Maybe don't wear $400 dresses to a winery. Wine happens. The laughter around her swelled again. Finally, Mom spoke. Holly, get your sister a towel. Not apologize, not that was wrong, just a towel. Sure, Mom. Holly turned away, still smiling. Melissa came up, her cheeks red. Aunt Amanda, I'm so sorry. Mom didn't mean... It's fine, I said, even though it wasn't. I should go. I walked to my car, their laughter following me. No one stopped me. No one defended me. The red stain on my dress looked almost black in the fading sunlight. The drive home was long. 3 hours with the windows down, the wind mixing with the sharp scent of wine. At home I tried everything. Cold water, stain remover, soaking. Nothing worked. The silk was destroyed beyond saving. I hung the dress in my closet, still stained, a quiet reminder of what my family thought of me. Then I saw the envelope waiting on the counter. Thick, official, from Whitmore and Associates, the estate lawyers. I'd been expecting it. Mom was finalizing the transfer of the winery, giving Holly full ownership, making it official. But they'd forgotten one thing. Grandfather's will required unanimous consent from all descendants for any property transfer. Mom's signature, Holly's signature, and mine. The same equal right Holly always pretended I didn't have. I smiled then, faintly, for the first time that day. Because while Holly had the winery, the vines, the lights, the laughter, I still had something she didn't expect. I still had a say, but I had to consent to the transfer. Without my signature, nothing could proceed. I opened the packet. Property transfer documents, quitclaim deed, trust dissolution papers, multiple pages, requiring my notarized signature to release my inheritance rights and allow Mom to transfer full ownership to Holly. There was a cover letter from Mom's attorney. Ms. Brennan, please review and sign the enclosed documents at your earliest convenience. Mrs. Hartwell wishes to complete this transfer by month's end to coincide with the winery's 45th anniversary. Your prompt attention is appreciated. Prompt attention. They needed my signature. Without it, the transfer couldn't happen. Holly couldn't become sole owner. The property would remain in the trust, jointly owned by all of us under grandfather's will. I looked at my Weinstein dress hanging in the closet. I called the attorney's office Monday morning. Whitmore and Associates. This is Amanda Brennan. I'm calling about the winery property transfer documents. Yes. Ms. Brennan, we sent those last week. Have you had a chance to review them? I have. Wonderful. Can you come in to Senior? Would you prefer we arrange a notary to come to you? Neither. I'm declining to sign. Silence. I'm sorry. Declining. I'm not consenting to the transfer. I'm exercising my rights under my grandfather's will to maintain my ownership interest in the property. Ms. Brennan, I'm not sure you understand. This is just a formality. Your mother and sister have already agreed, and I'm declining, which means the transfer can't proceed without unanimous consent, which I'm withholding. May I ask why? That's between me and my family. Miss Brennan, this will complicate the estate planning significantly. That's unfortunate. My decision is final. Your mother and sister will be very disappointed. They'll be informed by your office, I assume. Good day. I hung up. Within an hour, Holly called. I didn't answer. She called 5 more times. Then Mom called. I answered. Amanda, what is this nonsense about not signing the papers? It's not nonsense. It's my legal right. Your legal right? The winery is Holly's. She's run it for 20 years, and she can continue running it, but I'm not signing over my ownership interest. Why would you do this? Because Sunday, Holly threw wine on my $400 dress, giggled, and you sat there watching. Then her friends laughed, and nobody apologized. That's what this is about, a dress. That's what it's about. Respect, which I didn't receive. Holly said it was an accident. Holly deliberately poured wine on me while making a speech about how I abandoned the family. That wasn't an accident. That was calculated humiliation. You're being dramatic. I'm being clear. I won't sign documents for people who treat me like trash. Amanda, this is the family business. You can't hold it hostage over hurt feelings. I'm not holding it hostage. I'm exercising my legal rights. If Holly wants sole ownership, she can buy out my share. Buy you out with what money? That sounds like a Holly problem. She owns a successful winery. Surely she can arrange financing. You know, wineries operate on thin margins. We can't afford to buy you out. Then I remain a co-owner as grandfather intended, as his will specifies. This is cruel. Cruel is watching your daughter pour wine on your other daughter and doing nothing. Cruel is allowing your granddaughter's bridal shower to become a humiliation event. Cruel is valuing one daughter over the other for 20 years. I don't. You do. You always have. Holly stayed. I left. That makes her the good daughter and me the bad one. Even when the good daughter throws wine on me, you sit there silent. Holly was upset. Holly was vindictive. There's a difference. Mom hung up. Holly called from her husband's phone. I answered, Amanda, this is insane. You can't block this transfer. I can. I am over a stupid dress. Over deliberate disrespect. It was an accident. It was punishment for not being you, for making different choices, for leaving. You're going to destroy the winery over this? I'm not destroying anything. You can keep running it. I just won't be signing away my inheritance rights to someone who pours wine on me. That's blackmail. That's consequence. You want me to happily sign over my share of the family business after you humiliated me? No. What do you want? Money? Is that what this is? I want nothing from you. Then sign the papers. No, I'm keeping my ownership share. As grandfather intended, he wanted all his grandchildren to have equal rights to the property. I'm exercising mine. You don't even care about the winery. Neither do you, apparently, or you'd have treated me better. She hung up. The attorney called. Man, perhaps we can schedule a mediation. No mediation. My decision is final. Your mother is quite distressed. My mother watched her daughter assault me with wine and said nothing. She'll survive some distress. This will tie up the estate indefinitely. Then it's tied up. Grandfather made unanimous consent a requirement for a reason. Perhaps he knew families like ours needed checks and balances. This seems quite vindictive. This seems quite legal. Are we done? He sighed. If you change your mind, I won't. 3 weeks later, Mom called from Holly's phone. Amanda, please. We need to resolve this. There's nothing to resolve. I'm exercising my rights. Holly wants to apologize. Holly wanted to humiliate me. She succeeded. Apologies don't undo that. She was wrong. I was wrong. Please. You were wrong and you did nothing. You sat there and watched your daughter pour wine on me while her friends laughed. You chose her again. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough. 20 years of choosing Holly over me. 20 years of making me feel like I was wrong for choosing differently. And the one time I show up, I get wine poured on me for my trouble. What can we do? Nothing. The winery stays in the trust. Holly can keep running it, but she doesn't get sole ownership. She gets to share it with the sister she humiliated for the rest of her life. Amanda, I have to go, Mom. I have a winery to Cologne. I hung up. The winery remained in the trust. Holly continued managing it, but with the knowledge that I owned an equal share, that every decision, every profit, every success was partially mine. I never visited again, never attended another event, never signed those papers. Holly got to run the family business, but she had to share it with the sister whose dress she ruined. And every time she poured wine at a tasting, I hope she remembered the wine she poured on me, the one that cost her sole ownership of everything she worked for. Oops, my bad.